back, and my wife is still in her robe. Okay. The last of my big three that I want to talk about is, and we've already talked about my bag, my sleeping bag, or I'm sorry, my tent shelter, which is going to be the Hennessy hammock, which was brand new. Purchased that, got it for Christmas, and my Osprey pack, which was also brand new for this trip. The third big three they always talk about is your sleeping system for sleeping bags or quilts. I've never used a quilt when camping before, so I didn't want to go out and try something new, that big an item new, when I've always had sleeping bags. I've always trusted them. They've been very good to me. That may change in the future. We have probably a dozen sleeping bags in this house, and I didn't want to. We're trying not to bankrupt my wife while I'm going on this, and she's funding it. And she said she's going to start a GoFundMe soon, so y'all be looking for that. Okay, but I didn't want to bankrupt it by buying gear just for this trip. So went downstairs and really haven't bought any new camping or climbing gear or anything like that, outdoor gear, up until the Hennessy hammock and my pack. So went down, and the first sleeping bag I pulled up was actually one of my two favorites. Is a North Face Cat's Meow. I've had it since 2005. I bought it when I was in Garmisch, Germany. It's a synthetic bag, not a down, and it's rated down to 20 degrees. It's a little bit heavier. It doesn't compact. It's definitely an older bag. So people be out there going, oh, it's grandpa out on the trail. And it is. It's a very old bag. As I said, I bought it in 2005. But I love that bag. The good thing about it was synthetic, which meant if it got wet, I could quickly dry it out, compared to down. It was also rated down to 20 degrees. That's your comfort zone. There's a bunch of different ways to rate it. Most sleeping bags come with the ratings on them now. They use a European rating system. This one's comfort level, really, it says 30 degrees on it. Even though extreme, I could obviously get down to about 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Limits 25, and comfort zones around 36. Surprisingly, they actually base these numbers off of female use. It's a little confusing when you look it up. But I did not, as you can see, this is my North Face Gold Kazoo. I did not end up going with my Cat's Meow. I bought this bag right before my wife and I went and did first trip up to Colorado for some camping. It was just a last minute buy. We were in a store picking up some supplies. They had it on sale. It's probably because it's old too. But they were selling it. It was a great price. I couldn't pass it up, even though I didn't need another sleeping bag. But we grabbed it. And I've had this one since 2013. It's served us great. Multiple trips up to Colorado that we've done camping. Some trips that have been rather chilly, that were not supposed to be cold, with snow still on the ground and in the mountains. But it worked great. It is a down bag, all right, so it's got down feathers in it. It definitely makes it lighter, and I can compact it a lot better, so it'll fit in my sleeping bag, doesn't take up, or I'm sorry, in my pack, doesn't take up nearly as much room. You can see little down feathers that like to poke out and come out every now and then out of the bag. The bad thing about that is if I get this thing wet, it's going to weigh a ton, and it's going to take forever to dry it out. And that really came down to, was I willing to risk that? A lot of people say, don't take down. If it gets wet, it's going to weigh a ton, and you don't want that to happen. I chalked it up to, this is a lot lighter, and I was willing to take the risk. I've been waterproofing gear most of my life, so I know how to try and keep it dry. That's not going to say that it's going to definitely stay dry, but we're going to try it out. The great thing about it, it's a full zip, or quarter zip all the way down. It does have a nice box. The zippers actually glow in the dark, so I can find them. There are two-way zippers. All right, so it is pretty good to get that to happen. I have stumbled around in the middle of the night trying to find my zipper. Up towards the head, it does Velcro close to keep it up against your chin, and it does have a nice little stow pocket right here. So I can throw my headlamp in there if I needed to, iPod, my friggin' iPhone, whatever, just to keep it stored up right there. Or if I wanted to have another lightweight beanie or some little touch gloves, I can fit in that pocket. It does have a drawstring, so I can pull it. It is a mummy bag, so it'll completely seal up around my head. As you can see, it's very lightweight, likes to fluff, and it's very comfortable. Because I was worried about the temperatures, that this bag is really only down to a 30, and they kind of recommend you start out with a 20. I went ahead and purchased a Sea to Summit reactor bag. This is a very lightweight bag liner, but it should help. Their claims are, and talking to other people who have used them, I have never used one before till recently, it adds an extra 10 degrees of comfort to you. So instead of my bag being 30, while using this, my bag should drop down to about 20 degrees. It's nothing more than a big potato sack. All right, it is a little difficult getting into this when you're in your sleeping bag. There are no real instructions. I found I keep it stored in the bag. I ball it up like this, and then of course once I'm laying in my sleeping bag, I put my feet in and I just wiggle it over my butt, roll a little bit, wiggle some more. My wife has a funny video of it that she doesn't want me to show, but I may post it up later of us trying this out. It is 100% polyester. The other side thing to this, by using it, is it'll help keep my sleeping bag smelling better longer. 10, 12, 13 days possibly without shower. My bag's going to start smelling pretty raunchy, so this is supposed to help get the smell actually in this instead of your sleeping bag. Okay? The other thing is because it is lightweight, if it gets really warm at night and too warm for this sleeping bag, I can actually use just this to sleep in if I needed to, if it's that temperature. And of course, sleeping in layers of clothing, base layers will help out. Instead of the normal North Face stuff bag that comes with this for camping, went ahead and got this Event waterproof. We've used this a few times. It's actually a Sea to Summit waterproof compression bag. Sea to Summit makes some great gear. A lot of my stuff is Sea to Summit. I'm using this. It was actually my wife's. I stole it out of her sleeping bag kit. But it is completely waterproof. Allows me to go ahead and stuff my sleeping bag inside of it. And again, I keep my bag liner, I keep it in the sleeping bag. So it's right there. Again, it's another one of those trying to store everything where it's going to be used. And I just get it stuffed down in there. It does have a waterproof closure and pretty simple to use. All right. I get all the air out as much as I can before I start closing it up. And then I just roll it. Making sure that was a nice flat seam when I first did it. Buckle it over, close it up, and there's my sleeping bag. Get it a little bit smaller, just compress it down. I love compression bags. I've used them. Some people love them, some people hate them. Some people say, oh, you don't need it, just shove your sleeping bag into the bottom storage area of your pack. I'm not doing that. I'm going to go ahead and go with the waterproof because I did use a down bag. And compress it down, just bring it up and over. And then just tighten it down. Make sure that lid's just over the top to help pull it. As you can see, it gets pretty small. There's some other compression bags out there that actually have a strap that goes around to help keep it tight. But that's pretty small now, and it fits perfectly in the bottom of my sleeping bag compartment on my pack, which also, keeping it this small allows me to put the Hennessy hammock tent down in there with it as well. The last thing that's kind of part of my sleep system, though a lot of people don't consider it as part of the sleep system, is my sleeping pad. This is going to be a new item for me. So this was a new purchase. I've used plenty of mats before. I prefer air mattresses. I've used Thermarest air mattresses before. I've used their sleeping pads before. They have a Z-Lite, Z-Sole, which is an accordion style just like this. But some friends turned me on to this. I'd actually never really looked into Nemo at all. They make a lot of tents, sleeping bags. But this was their first foray really into a padded mat. Why mats over air mattresses? Air mattresses, you get a hole, then you're out on the trail, you don't have anything to sleep on. There are some different types of air mattresses. I'm no expert on them all by any stretch of the imagination. but it is air, so it doesn't give you a lot of insulation, especially for cold nights and if you're going to be in a hammock. So this actually provides me some blockage, and it's thermal reflective, so it gives me a little bit of warmth. I went with this model over a recommendation then instead of going with my normal Thermarest Z-Fold Z-Lite. They said the padding is a little bit cushier, and it's got a little bit more height than the Z-Fold. So I thought, you know what, I'll try it out. Nemo's got a good reputation. I haven't really talked to anybody that's used one out on the trail, I actually haven't talked to anybody but one person that said they've used this. So this will be a new experience for me. However, I do have my backup. I won't be taking it with me, but my wife will have it when she goes to the post office in her robe and her pajama bottoms. I have my normal Thermarest air mattress that I use a lot, and it'll be as a backup. So before I get to my first mail drop, I'll have had probably 5 days of sleeping on this to determine if this is something I want to go ahead and stick with, or if I want to go ahead and switch over. You know, I have slept on it. I have tried it. Have done some shakedown nights sleeping on it. I like it. I have no issues with it so far. But once you get out there on a trail, things might change. Your gear changes up. You don't like something. So this is the other part of my sleep system. A lot of people consider this kind of separate. Me, it's part of my sleeping bag. If I'm in my sleeping bag, I'm going to be on my mattress, whether it's an air mattress or this foam compressed pad. The other good thing about this is it gives me something to sit on when I'm around cooking up dinner or something. It is a nice cushion for my butt to sit on. I would be sitting pretty low even while I'm cooking, but it does provide me some cushion to sit on. And then right before I go to bed at night, I just open it up and throw it in either my tent, my hammock, or I can just throw it on the ground and go to sleep. Roll up my sleeping bag if I need to. So that completes my big three. Shortly, I will completely cover my wife's dining room table. I gave it back to her for a little while, then I took it back. Now I'm going to take it back again and cover it in gear and food. And I'll go through all the other gear and stuff that I am taking with me and explain some of my choices. Some of it's new, some of it's old. And I'll explain why other than just price, why I decided to stay with old gear, just like my kazoo bag here. No reason to buy another $300 bag. I have one, I know it will work. It may not be perfect, it may not be the best one out there. I haven't subscribed to this whole super ultra light, pack light, freeze at night concept that a lot of people have, but I do want to go as light as I can. And maybe in the future, my wife lets me go to the Pacific Coast Trail and the Continental Divide Trail next time. I will invest in a different sleeping bag. I may even do a quilt, but for now, it was an item we didn't have to buy. We already had it, and that's what we're going to use. So thanks for tuning in again. Hope you enjoy these, giving everybody, friends and family that are watching, a little bit background for those who aren't friends and family that are watching. Hopefully it inspires you to look at some of the stuff you already have or some other ideas out there. Again, by no means am I perfect. I don't know everything there is about camping. I'd have to do research, which I recommend for everybody. If you're going to go do anything, is do some research, ask around. REI is one of the greatest places. You can go on their website. They got tutorials. You can call them up, talk to some of their people. There's plenty of other outfitters out there, especially in the areas you might be going camping. All along the Appalachian Trail, there's outfitters. And I've called a few of them and just talked to them, and they've been great. I've had them on the phone. They said, hey, no, this is what worked for other people, and don't worry about this. You'll have this out there. So make sure you do a little bit of research. Don't just go pick up a magazine and start going, oh, well, they recommend this. This is the greatest item. Do a little research on it. Talk to people who've actually used it. You know, just because it was in the top 10 greatest items for last year doesn't mean it's the item that's going to work best for you, especially with prices going up on all of this. Do a little bit of research. Maybe buying something that's 3 years old, even though it's new. It might not be the latest and greatest thing that's out there, but will it work and will it fit your needs? And that's what I'm doing. So thanks again. It's Rabbit Raccoon on my YouTube channel, also Facebook. Thank you.